Hey guys, today's the second episode of my cocktail dessert series. In this series I make desserts that are inspired by signature cocktails, and today we're going to make an espresso martini dessert. It's a coffee shell filled with an espresso martini foam, coffee meringue and a yuzu gel. On the side we serve a coffee creme brulee with a coffee crumble and a beautiful coffee and chocolate ice cream. So, let's begin. First, the coffee creme brulee. Pour 400 grams of cream into a saucepan together with 100 grams of espresso, 80 grams of sugar and 2 grams of salt. Then cut half a vanilla pod in half and scrape out the seeds. Add both to the pan and then heat this up till the liquid is 80 degrees Celsius. After that, turn off the heat and cover the pan with a lid. Let it cool down completely. Then remove the vanilla pod and add 70 grams of egg yolk. Mix it well and then pass it through a fine sieve. Now fill some glasses or ramekins to a third and use a blowtorch to remove any air bubbles that are floating on top. Then cover the glasses with some plastic wrap and make sure that they are completely sealed. Now steam them at 91 degrees Celsius for about 20 to 25 minutes depending on the size of the glasses. I steamed mine for 22 minutes. The custard needs to be set but still a bit wiggly. Then make a small hole in every glass and let it cool down completely in your fridge. Now for the coffee crumble. First blend 100 grams of hazelnuts till it's a fine powder. Then transfer it into a bowl and also add 100 grams of sugar, 60 grams of flour, 100 grams of butter, 2 grams of flaky salt, 8 grams of instant coffee powder and 40 grams of melted dark chocolate. Knead this till it's a soft and even dough. Now transfer it on a tray that's lined with a silicone sheet and spread it. Then bake it at 160 degrees Celsius for around 25 minutes. Stir it every 5 minutes to create a fine crumble. Then let it cool down completely and keep it dry and covered for later. Now for the espresso martini foam. First mix 100 grams of espresso with 200 grams of cream, 50 grams of sugar, 20 grams of cornstarch, 50 grams of egg yolk and half an empty vanilla pod. Then mix this well and while stirring bring this to a boil on a medium heat to thicken it. It needs to look like this. Once thickened, remove the vanilla pod and pour it into a measuring jar. Then also add 50 grams of vodka, 60 grams of a coffee liqueur and 30 grams of a spuma cold powder. Blend this till it's a smooth and even mixture. Now pour it into a siphon and charge it with one charge. If the foam is too thin, add another charge. Keep it in your fridge for later. Then for the coffee bean shells. Mix 300 grams of isomalt sugar with 100 grams of mannitol and 100 grams of sugar. Heat this up till the temperature of the sugar is 155 degrees Celsius. Once the sugar starts to melt, stir it every now and then. Then turn down the heat and add 2 grams of instant coffee powder. Mix it well to dissolve the powder. After, fill a couple of coffee bean molds. These are from Mold Brothers. Find the link in the description of this video. Now directly turn them around and let the sugar drip out of the silicone mold. The excess sugar you can remelt and use it again. Then clean the top and once it has cooled down, remove them from the mold. Be very gentle so you don't break the sugar. Now heat up an old knife with a blowtorch and cut the bottom off. Clean the knife after each coffee bean so the sugar doesn't burn. After that, add a thin layer of a mixture of 50 grams of melted cocoa butter and 50 grams of dark chocolate. Once that's set, dust it with some cocoa powder and then keep them dry and covered for later. Now for the coffee meringue. Mix 50 grams of espresso with 80 grams of sugar and heat this up till the sugar is 118 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, pour 80 grams of egg white into a mixing bowl and start beating it. Once a white foam starts to form, add 60 grams of sugar and when the syrup has the right temperature, slowly add it to the bowl as well. Then continue beating it till it's at room temperature. Now place a coffee bean stencil on a silicone sheet and spray some color spray on top. I sprayed a mixture of bronze and silver. Then remove the stencil and let them dry for 5 minutes. Once dry, add a circle stencil and spread the coffee meringue on top. Level the top and then remove that stencil as well. Now let them dry at 50 degrees Celsius for a couple of hours. The remaining meringue I piped in small dots and then dried them as well at 50 degrees Celsius. Now for the yuzu gel. Mix 25 grams of lemon juice with 25 grams of lime juice, 20 grams of ginger syrup, 80 grams of water, 100 grams of yuzu juice, 80 grams of sugar, 4 grams of agar powder and 4 grams of gellan powder. Mix this well and then bring this to a boil for 1 minute. Then pour it into a bowl and let it cool down completely in your fridge. Once set, transfer it into a blender and blend it till smooth. Then pour it into a bowl and vacuum the gel 100%. This will create a nice clear and see-through gel. This step is not necessary, but it will bring your gel to the next level. Then transfer it into a piping bottle and keep it in your fridge for later. Now for the espresso ice cream. Pour 1100 grams of milk into a saucepan together with 300 grams of cream, 250 grams of espresso, 340 grams of sugar and 90 grams of skimmed milk powder. Mix this well and then bring it to a boil on a medium heat. Meanwhile, mix 60 grams of egg yolk with 50 grams of cocoa powder and while stirring add the hot espresso liquid. Use around half of the liquid. Then pour it back into the pan and while stirring heat this up till the temperature is 85 degrees Celsius. After, turn off the heat and add 50 grams of dark chocolate and 4 grams of stabilizer. I use step 2000. Now blend it with a hand blender till smooth. Then pour it into a bowl, cover it with foil and let it rest overnight in your fridge. The next day you can pour it into an ice cream machine and turn it into a beautiful ice cream. It's best to serve the ice cream as soon as possible, but otherwise keep it in a freezer that's around minus 12 degrees Celsius. Now we can start to finish the dessert. Add a thin layer of cane sugar on the creme brulee and caramelize it with a blowtorch on a low flame. Make sure the glass has been out of the fridge for 20 minutes, otherwise the temperature difference is too much and the glass might break. Then add a tablespoon of crumble. Now pipe some yuzu gel in the coffee shell and add 6 to 7 meringues. Then fill it all the way with the Espresso Martini foam and place it with the open side on the center of a plate. Now place a canal of the ice cream on the crumble and drizzle some yuzu gel on top. Then cover it with a meringue disc and the desserts are ready to be served. Okay guys, that's it for today. The ending is a bit different than usual, but something got mixed up with the footage, so I just have to do it like this. I absolutely love the dessert. It is coffee, and I'm a big fan of coffee, so I absolutely loved it, but it's also an espresso martini, so it would be strange to add a lot more flavors. I did add a bit of the yuzu. I know yuzu is not a typical ingredient for an espresso martini, but it brings a lot of balance with all those rich flavors, which I absolutely love. Small tip, the coffee shells, if you make them, really make sure you keep them dry and covered, because otherwise the shells will turn soft within a couple of days. But if you keep them dry and covered, you can keep them for a couple of weeks and then you can just prep ahead. So that's super easy. Yeah guys, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments on what you want to see next. Like, share the video and subscribe if you want to support my channel and see more great cooking videos. And as always, bon appetit!